The Himalayas. The roof of the world under which the Buddhist-inspired culture blossoms in the middle of a hostile desert. While for many it is a place of meditation and spirituality, for cyclists it poses challenges found nowhere else in the world. This is the story of one such challenge. Heading north from the city of Leh, you embark on the road to Khardung La. At over 5,300 meters, the pass features the highest road in the Himalayas and one of the highest in the whole world. Since its opening in 1988, it has become the focal point for adventurers like Christoph Kluge, an Austrian athlete who set the cycling record on Khardung La in 2012. Five years later, Škoda invited cyclists from all over the world to try and beat the record. Only 4 of them were brave enough to attempt it. Former pro cyclist Bartosz Uzarski, lifelong cycling fanatic Andreas Skilero, and Queen of the Mountains on Strava, Evelyn Skog. Instead of the 4th rider, a phone call came. Valenti San Juan had been hospitalized after finishing 10 Ironmans in 10 days. Nobody knows what condition he'll be in when he arrives. To avoid acute altitude sickness, it's crucial to rest during the first 24 hours. But for the riders, even rest means exploring. By the end of the day, the riders are already eager to get on their bikes.
Riding a bike means a lot to me. It's kind of my private space. Before I started riding, I was a runner and I really love running. But the problem with running is that I can't run as much as I want to because I get injured all the time. And my husband told me, why don't you try my bike?
I mean, I started to ride a bike, like a road bike, like maybe 5-6 years ago. And before I was riding a fixed gear bike, and way before I was riding like BMX. So it's just part of my life.
If you are a pro 24 hours per day. There is no excuse. I spent many days out of home, far away from the family. It's also kind of sacrifice because for the head it's really hard, especially when you have small kids. All my life, all my family life, it's around cycling.
Some shots from my office in Poland. Tour de France, Tour de France, Tour de France, Tour de France.
Thanks to their hypoxic training at home, the riders are acclimatizing much faster than average tourists. On the second day, they head out for a Sunday ride along the River Indus to see what it means to ride a bike in the Himalayas.
Actually, I'm looking forward to push on the pedals. I really don't know how my body is reacting to that. I mean, I've never done it. I don't have the opportunity. In Italy, we don't have such a high climb, such a high roads.
The crucial challenge of high-altitude cycling is the extremely thin air. With every breath, you only take about 50% of the oxygen you get at sea level. That means half of the energy for your muscles, lower stress resistance of the nervous system, and limitations in processing food. At low altitudes, you would start breathing deeper to take in more oxygen. In the Himalayas, there just isn't enough oxygen to catch your breath.
You get short of breath pretty quickly, even though the pulse stays low.
No oxygen.
It's just exhausting.
So it's hard to manage and find a balance between what we should do and what's recommended. I feel everybody has to listen to the body.
So my training, it's I need to do a bit of intervals on the hills. It depends by the gradient of the climb. I mean, the places are amazing, the roads are perfect. So yeah, there's no bad spots here.
During the training session, Andrea Schillero decides to push himself to the limit, pedaling to the top of the pass at an altitude of 5,300 meters, completely breaking up his schedule.
2 kilometers to the top of Varilaha.
It has dire consequences.
Succede me. So, normal that I'm a bit like a dog. Ero su da solo che salivo con sta luce di taglio fantastica e ho sentito i tamburi. Sentivo i tamburi, mi sono girato. Dove cazzo stanno sti tamburi? Era il cuore, qua. C'ho il cuore qua che tamburava.
Despite Andrea's incident, a training session on the Kardung La Pass is scheduled for the next day. One of the goals of the training is to get a grasp of the final 10 kilometers. At an altitude of about 4,500 meters, the road changes to gravel trail, and heavy trucks often get stuck trying to pass each other. After a 2-hour ride with no time to catch their breath, the finish is going to bleed the riders dry. And they need to be ready for it. In case of altitude sickness, there is an emergency facility on the way up. But the only real treatment is to come back down to Leh, and nobody wants to do that.
The road to Kardung La is okay until last 8 kilometers maybe. First we have really good tarmac and everything is okay. Nice twisty roads, no problem.
4,300 meters. 160 heartbeat. And 20.7k to go. Why not?
And my legs are a bit like...
Then it starts to be really difficult with the breathing, no oxygen, and last 10 kilometers it's terrible hard. It's really hard. I couldn't keep my speed.
Even if I would like to drink, it's not possible because then I have to change my breath rhythm.
But then it starts much more difficult with gravel road under construction.
It doesn't fucking go! Heartbeat 148, and it's not possible to go deeper. Legs completely empty.
Once I had to stop completely, take deep breath, and then I could continue the race because I had already this squeezy fingers, legs, losing the concentration.
Himalaya cycling.
Behind the next curve is the end. But there's another curve, and another, and another, and another. And towards the end, you feel like this never ends. And it just continues forever and ever. So it's mentally taxing.
For these people, probably it's something strange that the man on the bike is climbing so high. But we love cycling. We like challenges.
How do you feel?
Shit.
I don't feel anything at all in my legs. It's all here.
No,
and
for me it's like,
here and here.
Around and we spin it from the top. Yay!
While the rest of the riders are slowly getting used to the high altitude, Valenti San Juan finally arrives, catching the first flight from Spain after his release from hospital.
I arrived here with no training. I did 10 Ironman in 10 days, so I arrived here with no legs, with some injuries in my stomach, but with a lot of illusion to meet the guys, to meet the mountain, and to have this experience.
What the fuck? I'm still alive.
The riders want to avoid heavy traffic on the pass, so they wake up at dawn. The morning is much colder than usual.
We decided we will do it today. We heard some rumors that there is snow in the top.
Is it recording? Yeah. Ready for the challenge?
To beat the current record, the riders have to start from the very same spot as Christoph Kluger during his record attempt in 2012, the always busy Gate of Leh. Along with them, there is a whole convoy getting ready. Skoda service cars, an ambulance, a film crew. The Kardung La has not seen an event of this scale in a long time. And another thing will be different today.
10 days sunny, and today you can look. We go there. Looks like it's raining.
And I have a headache, so everything is perfect.
I'm a little bit nervous.
It's just seconds to the start now. The riders are getting in the zone. After weeks of physical and mental training, a few hours of riding will decide everything.
Guys, let's stand by. I wish you all good luck.
Will any of them become the fastest cyclist to ever climb Kardung La?
3, 2, 1, go!
The race has started, and now we have to try to do our best.
The goal for the riders is to arrive at the top of the pass before the Skoda Karoq. The car will be keeping the exact pace of the record, following the GPS coordinates of Kluger's ride from start to finish.
Oops. Up. Ah!
Right after the start, Bartosz Ozarski breaks away from the other cyclists and the pace car.
Heartbeat 165. Average speed so far 20.3. A little bit too fast, but I need to try to gain time in this altitude because over 4,600 I feel really, really bad.
Andrea Skillero takes a risk and tries to chase Bartosz. He doesn't just want to break the record, he wants to win the race. But so far, Bartosz is much faster.
It's gonna be a real tough, fatigue race.
Meanwhile, Eva Lindskog and Valenti San Juan are keeping pace with the Skoda Karoq.
I'm trying to follow Eva.
Eva faces difficulties from the very beginning of the race.
I don't feel perfect. A bit dizzy, but okay.
And she still has more than 35 kilometers to climb.
It's a long way to go.
Valenti is struggling with every single push, but he is not giving up.
Ah, 3 minutes in front of the record. Too hard for me. Too hard for me.
Over the first 15 kilometers, the distance between the riders slowly increased.
Bartosz è imprendibile, completamente. Assolutamente imprendibile.
It is becoming clearer by the minute that Bartosz Ozarski is riding a solo race against the clock.
4,600 meters altitude, around 14, 15 k's to go. Ciao, and wish me good luck.
About halfway up the road, the mountain pulls another trick, just to mix things up.
And here, it's snowing us crazy. It's snowing us crazy!
I'm 1 minute 43 seconds ahead. Even though I lost almost 2 minutes. Taking on my jacket. That sucks.
Under these conditions, the riders are rapidly losing both oxygen and body warmth. Kardung La is fighting back. And for Valenti, it's just too much to take.
Oxygen in the car. Check it, please.
Valenti's oxygen saturation has dropped rapidly, and he needs to stop. The rest of the riders are approaching the final part of the climb. Hardly any road, hardly any oxygen, hardly any energy left, and the clock mercilessly keeps on ticking. Just 2 kilometers from the top, still far ahead of the record, Bartosz has lost his GPS signal. In the dense fog with no way to track his position, his lead on Andrea could easily shrink. But Bartosz is not the only one struggling through the endless switchbacks up to the pass.
Just waiting for the pace car to come and catch me.
Puttana miseria. Che fatica.
After a 40-kilometer climb to the roof of the world, with his body crying for more oxygen, Bartosz Ozarski is desperate to finally see the finish line.
My goal was really high. I say all or nothing.
Speed of cycling, eh?
Goal for me was to do as fast as possible, that at least until next summer nobody beats, but never again.
With Bartosz already at the top, there's only honor left to gain. Andreas Skillero is climbing towards a bitter finish. He would beat Kluger's original record, but Bartosz Ozarski was faster than him.
Will be alive.
For Eva Lindskog, it was all about arriving at the top before the pace car, and she can still achieve that. Despite initial difficulties and the heavy snow, Eva manages to set a new women's record. Just seconds after her, the pace car crosses the finish line and the race is over.
Well, in the end, I didn't know if I was ahead or behind. So I just think it was really close. I think I might have done it, but just barely so.
But there is one more pair of wheels under the summit of Kardung La.
Just a moment.
Okay, can I continue now? Okay. I will need a bar.
Okay, which kind of bar?
It doesn't matter. Okay. Vamos. Let's go.
Go, 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 hero!
Valenti San Juan has refused to leave the race. He came to beat the mountain, and he will do that whatever it takes.
I'm suffering like hell, but having one of the most painful and beautiful at the same time experience of my whole fucking biking life.
So proud of
Good
you.
man.
So proud of you. You know, I thought I dropped you 10 times, and just you came back, and you came back, and you came back, and you came back, and I'm like, am I never going to get rid of this guy? You're so tough.
I think we did it. I'm super happy. I'm like destroyed. I did as fast, as hard, as strong as I can, and I'm super happy of that. So we are. Okay. To the right, man.
Maybe it seems these cyclists have no limits. The truth is, they just have big enough dreams.